There is likely a notebook on your shelf right now that you have never written in. It is beautiful, perhaps bound in leather or cloth, with paper that feels thick and expensive to the touch. You bought it with a specific intention. You imagined the profound thoughts you would record there, or the sketches you would draw. But it sits empty. You tell yourself that you are waiting for the right pen, or perhaps for your handwriting to improve. You are waiting for your thoughts to become worthy of the paper. You are saving it. This small, silent object is not just a notebook. It is a mirror. It reflects a much larger and more pervasive pattern in the way we inhabit our own lives. Many of us move through our days with the distinct sensation that we are currently living in a prologue. We treat our present reality as a dress rehearsal for a play that is not yet opened. We feel that the life we are living right now is merely a rough draft, a scribbled collection of notes that will eventually be organized into the final, polished manuscript. We tell ourselves that the real story will begin later. It will begin when we finally move to that new city with the cobblestone streets. It will begin when we lose those last 10 pounds and feel at home in our bodies. It will begin when we find the partner who understands us, or when we secure the promotion that validates our intelligence. We live in a state of suspension, holding our breath, waiting for the conditions to become perfect so that we can finally exhale and allow ourselves to arrive. Psychologists sometimes call this the syndrome of delayed life. It is a state of existence where the now is devalued in favor of a hypothetical then. It is the belief that the person you are today is not the finished product, but rather a construction site. And because you view yourself as a construction site, you do not feel authorized to inhabit your life fully. You do not hang curtains in a house that does not yet have a roof. You do not invite guests into a room full of sawdust and scaffolding. You wait. You work. You postpone joy until the renovation is complete. But there is a quiet tragedy hidden in this way of thinking. The renovation is never complete. The horizon line of readiness moves every time you take a step towards it. We often mistake this endless waiting for ambition or self-discipline. We think we are being responsible by withholding rewards until we have achieved our goals. But often, this waiting is not about discipline at all. It is a defense mechanism. It is a way of protecting ourselves from the vulnerability of being alive. Living fully in the present moment is terrifying because the present is messy. The present is uncontrollable. The present includes your current limitations, your current loneliness, and your current confusion. As long as you live in the fantasy of the future, you are safe. The future you is perfect. The future you is calm, successful, and admired. The future you makes no mistakes. By keeping your real life at a distance, you avoid the risk of failure. You cannot fail at a life you haven't really started living yet. You might notice this pattern in the clothes hanging in your closet. There are likely garments you love but never wear because they are too nice for a regular Tuesday. You are saving them for an occasion that matches their quality. You might notice it in your kitchen, where the good ceramic bowls are kept behind glass while you eat off chipped plates. You are saving the good things for a version of yourself that you deem worthy of them. This creates a split in your psyche. There is the real you, who is flawed and struggling, and there is the ideal you, who deserves happiness. You become a tyrant to your present self, constantly withholding pleasure and rest because the work isn't done yet. You convince yourself that you haven't earned the right to simply be. You turn your existence into a transaction where happiness is the payment for perfection. And since perfection is impossible, the payment never comes. The antidote to this suspension is not to give up on growth. It is not to stop striving for a better job or a healthier body. The antidote is to realize that the draft is the book. There is no final version coming from the printers. This messy, imperfect, uncertain chapter is the story. The person breathing air into your lungs right now is the only version of you that possesses the capacity to feel joy. The future version of you is a ghost. The past version of you is a memory. Only the present you is real. We must challenge the belief that we need to be fixed before we can be seen. We often hide away, isolating ourselves until we feel presentable to the world. We think, I will start dating when I am more confident, or I will invite friends over when my apartment is decorated. But connection happens in the mess. Intimacy is born when we let others see the scaffolding. By waiting to be perfect, we are actually starving ourselves of the very connection that would help us heal. Imagine what would happen if you stopped waiting. Imagine if you decided that the construction site is actually a home. You can sweep the sawdust into a corner and sit down in the middle of the unfinished room. You can have a cup of tea there. You can laugh there. You can invite someone in and say, "This is where I am. It is not finished, but the light is beautiful here." This shift requires a brave kind of acceptance. It asks you to accept that you might never be fully ready. You might always carry a certain amount of doubt. You might always have things you want to change. But you can make the radical decision to inhabit your life exactly as it is today. You can decide that the waiting room is actually the main stage. There are small, gentle ways to practice this acceptance. You can start by reclaiming the things you have been saving. Take the notebook off the shelf. Open it to the first fresh page. Write in it with your current handwriting, even if it is scrawled and imperfect. Write down a grocery list, or a half-formed thought, or a complaint. Violate the perfection of the blank page with the reality of your life. Show yourself that the book does not need to be a masterpiece to be valuable. It just needs to be used. Burn the expensive candle while you are doing the dishes on a Wednesday night. Wear the silk shirt to go to the grocery store. Use the good olive oil for a simple dinner alone. These act as signals to your subconscious mind. They tell your inner self, I am already here. I am already worthy. I do not need to become someone else to deserve beauty. This is not about hedonism or recklessness. It is about mercy. It is about looking at the person in the mirror with all their unfinished business and unresolved questions and saying, you are allowed to live. You are allowed to take up space before you have figured everything out. You are allowed to enjoy the sunshine even if you haven't finished your to-do list. The tragedy of a delayed life is not that we don't achieve our goals. The tragedy is that we miss the texture of our actual existence while we are hallucinating a better one. We miss the way the light hits the floor in our imperfect apartment. We miss the warmth of a friend's hand because we are too busy worrying if we are impressive enough. We miss the quiet satisfaction of a meal because we are counting the calories for the future body we want. When we stop waiting for reality to begin, we realize it has been happening the whole time. It was happening while we were making plans. It was happening while we were worrying. It was happening in the silence of the morning and the fatigue of the evening. This is it. This is not a rehearsal. There is no audience waiting for you to get it right. There is only you, and this moment, and the choice to step fully into the frame. What would you do today if you knew that this was not a draft? What if you knew that you would never be more ready than you are right now? Perhaps you would make that phone call. Perhaps you would finally write the first sentence. Or perhaps you would simply sit in your favorite chair, close your eyes, and let yourself feel the profound relief of having finally arrived.